The alarm sounds at 6 again. Before anything else, your mind quietly drifts to your retirement savings account balance. You have worked 30, maybe 40 years of your life, yet the golden retirement everyone promised still feels distant. The dream was simple: work hard, save diligently, and retire with comfort, dignity, and complete financial peace of mind. But what if that dream was quietly built on a foundation that was slowly crumbling beneath your feet all along? The statistics are deeply unsettling. The average American retiree lives on approximately $22,000 per year in total income. $22,000 annually. That is roughly $1,800 each month for housing, healthcare, groceries, and every other expense. For millions of retirees, Social Security becomes not a supplement, but the single primary source of monthly retirement income. You imagine traveling freely, giving generously to grandchildren, living without financial anxiety. That vision deserves far more than painful compromise. Yet here is the quiet truth most financial systems never revealed. The average retiree was simply never truly prepared. The gap between what people save and what retirement actually costs grows wider with every single passing year globally. Medical expenses alone can consume over $300,000 in retirement, a staggering figure most savings plans never anticipate. You feel it, that low hum of anxiety when checking your balance, silently wondering whether it will ever be enough. The rat race does not end at 65 for most people. For many, it simply changes its name and accelerates. Scattered among these statistics lives a different story, a quiet, elegant strategy that the wealthiest 1% quietly employ. This is not about luck, inheritance, or insider trading. It is about a fundamentally different relationship with money and time. To understand why the wealthy retire so differently, examine first why traditional retirement systems were designed to inevitably fall short. The conventional model, work, save in a 401k, then withdraw, was designed for a simpler, entirely different economic era. Inflation silently erodes purchasing power each decade. What feels sufficient today may feel dangerously inadequate within just 15 short years. The 1% understand capital efficiency, the principle that every dollar must be strategically positioned to multiply, not merely sit idle. The wealthy do not simply save. They build living systems where capital continuously works, compounds, and generates returns every day. Compound interest is perhaps the most powerful force in personal finance, yet most people dramatically underestimate its transformational long-term potential. $100,000 invested at 7% annually for 30 years transforms into over $760,000. That is the elegant mathematics of compounding. Time multiplying capital without requiring any additional hour of your personal labor. The wealthy understand that the true retirement asset is not a bank balance. It is a self-sustaining income-generating architecture. Wealth preservation, not just accumulation, defines the financially free. Protecting what is built becomes equally important as growing it further. Psychology shapes everything. The wealthy view retirement not as a finish line, but as a deliberately designed, purposeful life. Average earners trade time for money across decades. The wealthy engineer systems where money trades back for permanent, irreplaceable time. Tax-advantaged accounts, Roth IRAs, SEP plans, and defined benefit structures form the quiet, invisible scaffolding of elite retirement architecture. The 1% maximize contributions to tax-sheltered accounts from an early age, allowing decades of compound growth to unfold completely untouched. Beyond tax efficiency lies a deeper principle: asset allocation aligned with long-term wealth generation rather than short-term psychological security. Most people hold excessive cash, fearing market volatility. The wealthy hold diversified, income-producing assets that perform across all economic cycles. Real estate, dividend-paying equities, private equity, and business ownership together form the multi-layered foundation of every truly elite retirement portfolio. Institutional investors, sovereign wealth funds, and university endowments never simply hold cash. They deploy capital into perpetual income-generating ecosystems. The Harvard Endowment, valued at over $50 billion, generates billions annually through diversified alternatives, ensuring perpetual institutional financial vitality. This is precisely the model the 1% replicate personally, a living portfolio that breathes, grows, and funds their lives indefinitely. The average retiree withdraws from a shrinking savings pool. The wealthy live entirely on the returns their capital quietly generates. This distinction is foundational. One system inevitably depletes, the other perpetuates. The difference is not income level, it is design. Behavioral economics reveals that most people anchor their retirement expectations to social norms rather than to personal financial realities. Most people save what feels socially comfortable. The mathematically required savings rate for genuine retirement security is dramatically far higher. The 1% reject average benchmarks entirely. They plan for longevity, healthcare inflation, and purchasing power erosion, targeting 90 full years. Longevity risk, the genuine possibility of outliving one's savings, is the single most underestimated threat to retirement financial security. Rising life expectancy means a 30-year retirement is now realistic, demanding a fundamentally different philosophy towards savings and investment. Wealthy individuals plan for long life with compounding assets. Others plan around a fixed number and a predetermined ending date. Retirement healthcare can cost a couple over $300,000. Elite planning integrates health savings accounts and insurance proactively. The gap between the prepared and unprepared widens not from talent, but from financial system design and deliberate long-term strategy. Now, examine the specific financial architectures that quietly build lasting wealth for those patient and disciplined enough to construct them. The first and most elegant mechanism is the passive income stream, money flowing continuously without requiring your direct daily participation. Dividend-paying stocks reward patient capital holders with quarterly cash flows that grow beautifully through consistent reinvestment and long-term compounding. A portfolio generating 4% dividends on $1 million produces $40,000 each year entirely without active work. Real estate through rental properties or REITs delivers layered returns simultaneously. Appreciation, rental cash flow, and powerful tax advantage. The 1% own assets that produce income rather than simply earning income. This ownership distinction completely changes their financial trajectory. Business equity is another essential cornerstone. A well-structured enterprise generates revenue whether its owner is present, traveling, or sleeping soundly. The entrepreneurial flywheel works this way. Early time and capital investment creates self-sustaining momentum that gradually and permanently funds freedom. Think of a business as a self-sustaining ecosystem. Once properly seeded, nurtured, and structured, it grows and sustains itself. The flywheel gains momentum slowly at first. Each revolution demands less energy, yet produces greater output through beautiful compounding efficiency. Buffett described compounding as a snowball rolling down a long, wet hill, growing exponentially larger with every rotation it makes. The critical insight is not the metaphor, but the hill's length, meaning that beginning early matters more than almost anything. Someone investing at 25 versus 35 gains not just 10 years, they gain hundreds of thousands in additional compounded wealth. Time arbitrage, deploying capital early to purchase decades of compounding, remains the single most powerful financial tool available to anyone. The 1% use money to acquire irreplaceable time, not luxury goods or status symbols, but the finite resource of life. Tax optimization in retirement means mastering Roth conversions, capital gains harvesting, and withdrawal sequencing with sophisticated, deliberate long-term precision. Every unnecessary tax dollar paid is silently removed from your compounding engine, an invisible but devastating leak in your wealth. Elite wealth managers do not simply invest. They architect multi-decade tax minimization strategies, protecting wealth across generations and family lines. The Family Trust, Charitable Remainder Trust, and Family Limited Partnership are legal structures that preserve and transfer wealth with elegance. Asset protection, shielding accumulated wealth from liability, lawsuits, and erosion, forms the silent, critical third pillar of elite retirement planning. The average person builds wealth in one account. The sophisticated planner diversifies across asset classes, legal structures, and global boundaries. Geographic diversification means holding assets across different economies, reducing systemic risk while accessing superior opportunities unavailable in any single market. Private equity and venture investing, once reserved for institutions, now offer accredited individuals access to historically the highest returning asset classes. Alternative investments like fine art, private credit, and infrastructure provide non-correlated returns, stabilizing portfolio performance through all economic conditions. The wealthy retiree does not fear market downturns. Diversified income streams ensure one disrupted source rarely threatens the financial ecosystem. Insurance as a wealth tool. Indexed universal life and long-term care policies is another layer the sophisticated deploy precisely. Healthcare inflation runs at approximately 5 to 6% annually, significantly outpacing general inflation. Proactive planning is therefore not optional. Delaying Social Security benefits until age 70 can increase monthly lifetime income by up to 32% versus claiming early. Every strategic element compounds upon the others. Tax efficiency, diversification, income layering, and legal structure together build an impenetrable fortress. This is the full architecture of elite retirement planning. Not a single account, but a living, breathing, interconnected wealth organism. The question now returns directly to you, not as an average, but as someone with a future worth designing. Your golden years can be everything you imagined, but only when deliberate financial architecture is built long before retirement arrives. You do not need to be born wealthy to retire wealthy. You need a system, a strategy, an unwavering commitment. The real secret is not a stock or fund. It is the lifelong discipline of thinking in decades, never in months. Every day of delay is compound interest subtracted permanently from the retirement life you deserve to one day inhabit. Begin wherever you stand today. One invested dollar, one consistent habit, one deliberately built system. Each one genuinely matters. Wealth is not what you spend or display publicly. As Morgan Housel wrote, wealth is the money quietly never spent. The wealthy retire not to stop living, but to finally choose, freely, how every single remaining precious hour is invested. Owning your time is the ultimate financial achievement, a luxury no watch, no car, no possession can ever replicate. Your retirement is not a distant destination. It is built or neglected in every single financial decision you make today. The average retiree hopes, the strategically prepared retiree knows. That difference is built across decades of deliberate, compounding daily choices. Think beyond your own retirement. Think about the legacy you leave, the financial foundation that supports those you love most. The greatest gift you leave is not an inheritance, it is a living demonstration of financial wisdom and discipline. Retirement is not the end of your story. With the right architecture in place, it becomes your magnificent, long-awaited beginning. Build your system today. The you who wakes in 20 years deserves mornings of pure peace, freedom, and quiet purpose.